one, and we're live. Look, you can tell it's dark by the graininess. And we're live with another edition of Notes on the News with Angela on Channel B Fabulous You. This is the segment where I read to you headlines from my news feed, and I share with you thoughts and ideas and stuff that comes up for me based on the headline and in the article or the subject matter in general. But it's not news. It's just my notes on the news. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Let us proceed with the notes on the news feed. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and being here. Fabulous one. Fabulite. It was him. It was him. Y'all remember that song? It wasn't me. Dang, I can't get, but you know the song, it wasn't me, it wasn't me, it wasn't me, but it was me, it was him. Shaggy will perform for the Queen of England at her birthday party. So is she a fan? What kind of party is the Queen of England having? First of all, ain't she about like 180 years old? It just made me very curious. That's all. It wasn't me. African nations sign largest free trade agreement since WTO. What's WTO? But anyway, it's a big deal that the African nations have signed this free trade agreement. We're going to go into that story, but we're going to loop back around. We're going to keep it moving because y'all can tell it's already getting dark. And, yeah, we got to get something going here. Monique's Isaiah Washington emails opens new can of worms. Accusations of racism emerge. Monique has a lane, is creating a lane, is defining her lane as like a whistleblower, just she don't say what she gonna speak the truth. She ain't here for no being politically correct or being politically expedient or schmoozing to get ahead, because she already figures she's behind. Or I don't know if she figures she behind, but she figures where she gonna be, and she comfortable with where she gonna be, so she gonna say what she wanna say. So anyway, that's Monique. Sacramento's BLM activists mourns death of #Stefan Clark, vows to fight back. Good. Brother Yapo did a whole share on Stefan Clark today. I think it was today. It might have been yesterday. My whole, life is discombobulated at the moment. Zendaya teaches major designers a lesson for declining to dress her. So when she was like coming up, nobody wanted to dress her. Chanel, I don't know who, these big Valentino, they were like, no, we're not going to dress her. So I'm here. My number got caught at the DMV. So my number got caught at the DMV. So I was excited. Yay! I think you meant caught. Did you mean caught? I was talking to somebody today who was talking about how easy it was for them to get their tags or whatever at DMV, and all they had to do was swipe a barcode on the thing, and the thing just spit out, and we were like, yay! And I was like, dang, I guess that's somebody. Yeah, I guess that's a few people's jobs just replaced by computers. But in theory, I don't have no issue with that, because sometimes the people at the DMV seem like they wasn't happy. And maybe, we just gonna visualize a world where, computers can do the stuff that people don't want to do. And then people can be like human beings and do the things that human beings want to do. Like music and sing and dance and study mathematics and astrology and write literature and not literature, but just write and paint and draw. And yes. So with them computers, they don't know. Now the people probably think something else, but we know it's freeing us up for a world to be free. Tavis Smiley allegedly sent co-worker porn, according to PBS countersuit. So y'all remember when all of this Me Too stuff was going on, Tavis Smiley got dismissed. Tavis Smiley is like, why are you dismissing me? Because I have dated coworkers, but I have done nothing out of line. There is no policy at this company that says I can't date coworkers. It was mutually consensual. What is the issue? I didn't even know I was being investigated till somebody called me and told me I was being investigated. No, I'm fighting this. So he filed a suit and they filed a countersuit, I guess. So they saying he sent porn to the coworker. Now, I don't know if the coworker was an unwilling recipient, because if she was, and you out here sending porn to people who don't want to get porn, that's not good. Or if she was willing at the time and she not willing, I don't know what's going on, or I don't know. But PBS is clapping back. Now, I thought it was really interesting. Yeah, because it was kind of like, well, what is the issue? Because we didn't really hear people coming forward saying, Tavis Smiley did this to me, or he touched me, or, I felt, I didn't hear anything except for him saying I ain't done nothing. So this is the first I'm hearing. PBS shows the receipts on Tavis Smiley sexual assault allegations. That's a whole nother headline. Hamlin Bay. Have you heard of Hamlin Bay? I haven't. Nearly 150 beach whales die in Australia. You heard about that? 150 beach wild. Oh, you talking about Tavis Smiley. Okay, so Hamlin Bay. I don't know why the whales are getting beached. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm sorry for them making a transition too. I don't know what to say about the whales. Because remember it's probably been about 6 years ago. I don't know if y'all remember this. Oh my God, you know what I heard? Okay, so I don't know if you remember about 6 years ago, birds were just falling out the sky in certain parts of the world. And it was like, what's going on? Okay, so that's a whole nother subject. But you know what I heard, which I've been talking about, is this whole thing of in Michigan, in like a whole region of the country, about 7 or 8, maybe 10 years ago, I can't remember, the power went out. I just remember, it was like it just kind of gradually dawned on us that the power was out. And it seemed like it was out for a couple days, a day. I don't even remember. But as here recently, I'm like, I think that maybe we were hacked by, Russia, China, some other country. And like when it got real cold here in Detroit, I remember thinking, I don't even want to say this out loud, but if they out here hacking us, maybe they just gonna cut off all the power grid when we, in the middle of being cold, like just, to show that they got power, like they could just mess with us whenever they want. And then here the other day, we saw Russia said in one of the headlines I read that, we were, so close to your power plant or your nuclear power plant, and you didn't even know. We came and we left and you didn't even detect us. Look at that. That's what they were saying. So, this whole thing about them hacking into the power grid, I think I heard last night on CNBC. I don't know what, I was watching some news station for a second, and it was like, it was on there, and I was like, I've been talking about that, and I've been wondering about it. But anyway, roommate's mom, cops forcibly arrested her black son until police found bomber. This is in Austin. The guy who was the bomber had 2 roommates. A black guy, I don't know if the other guy was black or not, but the black roommate was arrested. The mama said the police pulled him off the street and held him in custody. And they say he wasn't guilty, but until the bomber was found. She said he ain't had nothing to do with it. He ain't know nothing about it. They went to his family, the bomber's family, and her son. They all go to church together, or some big church. They're all Christians. And that's why her son was staying there. And they don't know nothing about no bombing. She said she never met the boy, the bomber. So anyway, I'm like, he had black roommates? And then I guess I was reading in some article and they were saying, or a black roommate, and they were saying that, which doesn't mean anything, because a lot of times people think, oh, you're black, you can't be racist. Oh, you have a black friend, you can't be racist. Or you have a black roommate, you can't be racist. We know that's some bull. But I done forgot what I was going to say anyway, so let me keep going. In South Africa, a push to reclaim an Afrikaans, I'm here, start from the beginning. A push to reclaim an Afrikaans as diverse as its speaker. So in South Africa, there's a language called Afrikaans. Now, I thought it was like a European language. I don't really know the history, but an African PhD student was saying that, by having university taught in Afrikaans, it's exclusionary of African people who don't speak Afrikaans. So I didn't really read the article, but I thought that the whole concept was interesting, because I have heard in the past some dynamic with, how you use language, who knows what language, and whether you're able to advance and progress in the society. Apple proposes 13 emojis representing those with disabilities. My mouth wouldn't even say it because I'm like trying to understand this whole disability thing. I think people are differently abilitied. I don't know if I think that people are, I don't know, because I don't know. It's not like an intimate conversation for me, but like every time I hear it, it kind of rubs me the wrong way. But anyway, they got some new emojis coming out to reflect the wide range of ways that people move and operate in the world. As wide as Apple can get. Mother jailed in France for drowning 5 newborn babies. I didn't read the article, but I have questions. Were they her 5 newborn babies? Did she go gather up somebody else's 5? Like how? I don't know. I don't have time to read it at the moment, but it kind of like, I'm like, I don't understand. So peace for the very young children who made their transition, and I guess their families and communities, because I guess the mama, if it was the mama who killed her 5 newborn babies or whatever, her relatives, her family, her community is probably traumatized and stressed out, because it's just hearing about it is kind of like, what? Let's stop pretending Facebook cares. Kellyanne Conway gets clowned after advising millennials to eat ice cream instead of taking fentanyl. Children, don't take drugs. Just eat ice cream. What we know is she has mental health issues. People don't believe it's real. It is. Yeah, I definitely believe it's real. I think more people have mental health. I think that racism is a mental health. I think it's a lot of things that are like mental health issues. But anyway, Wayne Huizenga dies. Okay, so let me ask you this question. Do you know who Wayne Huizenga is? Have you ever heard of Blockbuster Video? I have. I never heard of Wayne Huizenga. And he was the owner of pro sports teams. Now, I wanted to click to see what teams they were. Because, we hear about the players, but we never hear about the owners. But anyway, he was 80 years old and he made his transition. So I guess rest. I don't know if I want him to rest in peace, but rest. I don't know what I want for him. I've not heard of him. Right. We don't know who the owner of none of these football teams. But I mean, we know some of the owners of these football teams and basketball teams, but a lot of them we don't know. I don't. TV station apologizes for distasteful "this monkey" caption used to identify Austin bombing victim Draylon Mason. So, you know how you can turn closed captioning on the YouTube videos, and sometimes you can have it on your TV. So instead of saying, the child's name, Draylon Mason, who made his transition, I think he was the musician who was killed, who was murdered, whose life was cut short. The person who does the closed captioning decided to write "this monkey" instead of the child's name. So the TV station apologized for the distasteful "this monkey" caption. It just seems like they out here in big ways and in little ways, and they just constantly like trying. Hey, Miss Red. It's like they just constantly trying. I was really interested in Yappa Yappa. I want to go back and listen to your video about like the people who, like, when you've lost, but you won't give up. Like, because you don't know you've lost, or because you just mad and you salty and you going like, I'm not going, but whatever. I want to process that some more. Law enforcement officers raid Cambridge Analytica's headquarters in London. Is that where their main headquarters are, or do they have other headquarters in London? I don't know. Catalonia crisis, 5 separatist leaders detained. So I just heard about the Catalonia situation about 5 months ago. I was talking to somebody today who like, what, Catalonia? They always trying to secede. Every 5-10 years, they trying to secede. I don't know what the period is, but they've been talking about seceding. So I guess it wasn't nothing new to her, but I'm like, huh? So anyway. Headlines, they come up and come down. But anyway, 5 leaders were detained. Headlines refer to a school shooter as lovesick, and people have a major problem with it. So this child, I think this was in Maryland. Yeah, in Maryland, the boy done came into, I think your camera light is off, sis. I don't have a camera light. If I do, I don't know how to turn it on. Yeah, I have a filter. I keep saying, I looked around for a lamp just before I started. Yeah, I looked around for a lamp just before I started so I could put a lamp here. Because usually I just try to use the daylight. I don't even know how to get this mess off of here now that I put it on here. Here, I'll put this filter on. No. Oh my gosh, it's making it worse. I'm just going to go back to normal. And we might have to come back tomorrow and do it. Oh, glamour. Can I look glamorous? Let's see. Okay, let me just put it back on normal and stop playing because we just out of light. That's all we got. So the headlines are saying that the school shooter is, he done come into school in Maryland, and I've never been lovesick before. I've been lovesick before, but I never had the urge to shoot people up. Right, that's not lovesick. That's like something else. Like when you out here killing people, that's not like, oh, he's just lovesick. That's why people are upset, because it's like, that's some bull. No, that's not lovesick. That's just sick. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. Michigan parent furious after yet another slavery lesson goes left. And that's what we're saying. It'd be the 666. It's just, so I don't know. I didn't even click on the article to see what the slavery lesson was. I saw something where they had the child lay down on the ground. Oh, was the last one out of Michigan too? Maybe we have something special going on in Michigan, but I just feel like it's all over the world. Charlemagne admitting to being molested sparks a mixture of sympathy and harshness. That's Charlemagne the God, the radio host. I think it's good for people to talk about their experiences and for you to know that people that, you know, out here in the world have experienced all different kinds of things. Spanish police break up Nigerian sex trafficking gang. I don't know. I'm not going to read that. Opelousas, I guess I'm going to have to leave after this one. Opelousas massacre of 1868. Hundreds of blacks beat and killed to keep from voting. So the Emancipation Proclamation was in 1860, 1863, 1865. So anyway, I don't know anything. I've never heard of the Opelousas massacre of 1868. Okay. The miseducation of Lauryn Hill, still relevant almost 20 years later. On that note, I think that we should all go and listen to some Lauryn Hill. I used to love the miseducation of Lauryn Hill. I would have beat that album up, just played it to death. That CD, I had CDs at the time. I would have killed that CD, except that in the middle of, I think in between each song, there were these interludes like, hey, we're in class. Yes, teacher. And those interludes used to drive me crazy. And so it was like I couldn't like put the thing on and just play it. And I couldn't figure out how to filter out the interludes. But that's what I got for now. Tomorrow I should have more daylight. And also I'm going to work on this lighting situation. I see that I'm going to have my husband. I see that there's a socket here. So I'm going to see if I can get a light just like wired in. Maybe that's all it takes. Or get some lamps or something. I got to do something. Because I just don't always have time during the day, although I'd like to. Yeah, I love that album. That was the best. That woman is brilliant, talented. How you gonna win when you ain't right within? Much love, sis. Mutual Admiration Society. And what was that whole, I need to go listen to it. But anyway, today is the best day ever. You are the greatest. You are the #1 stunner. So go out and be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous, you. Peace and love. Yes, I love that album too. Thank you. You can't even see the room. This is just, I'm trying to make a little studio space, but peace, family. Peace, y'all. Thanks for clicking on. Bye. Goodbye. Goodbye.